having me here in the
Thanks,
cave.
Aaron, man. Welcome. This is the main cave.
I'm here with is it Marvel, DC?
It's a bit of everything. It's a bit of childhood memorabilia. And most of my records and movies and music and things that have happened through these 40-something years of my life are here.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool backdrop to have for your records.
Yes, actually it is. It's my own space, although it's been invaded by my 8.5-year-old daughter.
I see your backpack in the corner, small table.
Yes, a small table, ping bag.
But you've got like the little turntable for the kids too.
Yes, I do. I'm slowly introducing them to music, to the ancestral means of spinning records.
Yeah.
That's the way my dad did. Always play records ever since I was 5. And very natural to me. Now this thing of becoming a selector and collector, I would say that I have always been, as you can tell.
Yeah.
But a selector of music, it's something that it's been naturally growing within me. And now I have been really lucky to being exposed to Sydney hungerness for more music, you know. Mm-hmm. So here we are dealing with it. Yeah, man.
It's nice to be able to, I mean, in my position right here, you showing me music that you've grown up with.
Yeah.
And for other people who are hungry for music to be able to access from people who aren't from Australia.
Yeah.
Hear music from other places.
Yeah.
The songs you grew up with. The songs that your dad showed you. The songs that maybe his friends or whoever showed him.
Correct.
Back in the, I don't know, 40s, 50s.
You're very close. Yeah. Yes, man, that's true. Most of the music I actually listen to is actually quite old in that sense, because, well, my dad is from this region where pretty much was the Mecca of all what we call these days Cumbia, and all that folklore around the northern Colombia.
In the Caribe?
Sí, in the Caribe, man. So he's from a town called Cereté, which is nearby a city of Monteria.
Oh yeah, Monteria.
That is south of Cartagena.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in between.
Towards Panama.
Bit north.
Yeah.
So in between Cartagena and let's call it like a triangle. I'll say that in between Cartagena and La Sabana, which is called this area where Monteria is, and the valley, or Valle du Par. All this area in between was of extreme importance for music and for what's happening right now. You know, all this, we see artists these days doing remixes and doing, you know, blending music and genres. But at that time, that was already happening.
Yeah.
With this Spanish invasion, with the indigenous that inhabited the area.
Yeah.
And what is also very important is that there was different types of, you know, of indigenous cultures within Colombia and in that area.
Yeah.
Very different. So we had the Caribes, and we had the people from the mountains that were more organic per se. So music, these days from that area reflects all those pieces of history from the very moment of existence, I guess, to all that had happened. You know, every single instrument that made the coast of Colombia end up there and end up playing an important part, you know, of the different rhythms that I actually would like to take you through today.
Yeah, sounds cool.
So, can we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
What are we starting off on?
Look, this guy is probably one of the most important figures in what we call foundational music in Colombia. And it's called foundational because everywhere there was something new in the years 50s, 60s, these big bands were playing. So we are playing a very famous artist called Lucho Bermudez. And this song is called Gaita de las Flores. It's a beautiful track, man.
what instrument is he, or is he? He's a composer and he's the lead.
Yes. So basically, Lucho was the director of this big band. Lucho was a clarinet player. Maybe in a moment I'll take you to this beautiful solo that he does for this. Gaita is an instrument made of an organic material. But in this instrumentation, in this setup of a big band, it was played by the clarinet. So have a listen to this.
This is a like reed instrument. Yeah.
So, if you ask me why are we taking this as a first track, is because, good or not, this was the music that industrialized what we call cumbia, and it was the X factor that made it, migrate to different countries. As far as I know I'm not an expert, but most of the early recordings for big bands were actually done in Argentina, sometimes in Mexico. So this is why there was this legacy left on these countries, and this is how cumbia got well known, right? But this is not, at that time this was new, but cumbia has been already there for quite a while, So
when you say that, what does that mean? So the rhythm of cumbia.
The rhythm of cumbia was born by the indigenous that also blend their instrumentation with the Africans.
Yeah.
So all of these percussion rhythms, that drum, the tambora, as we call the tambora, all of the instrumentation that was native, like these gaitas, for example, were part of the indigenous culture. And then as soon as Spanish came into the Americas, the narrative, the singing, the lyrics, and the incorporation of the new brass instruments, of course, will slowly transform and evolve into what we just listened. But something really funny that happened is that over the years, 40s, 50s, and then let's go to the 60s, around 60s or 70s, we had what we call in the Caribbean land, or in that savanna, northern, around from Monteria, where my dad is, what we call Porro, yeah? And Porro is a relative of this genre, is more brass focus, and I love it because it brings me a lot of memories of these parties, what we call parties in Colombia, parties that are in every town. Every single weekend in Colombia, you might go to a small town and there is a band playing this kind of music.
So this was a gaita or cumbia?
This was a gaita.
Okay.
Yeah, the genre is a gaita.
But the rhythm is?
But the rhythm essentially is cumbia. You can feel the beat at the background.
Yeah.
Is gaita, but that was performed in a big band.
With a big band, yes.
A big band. This is a very similar conformation of musicians. However, they are standing, and more likely you will find them playing on the main plaza of every small town in Colombia or anywhere in the world. Technically in South America, this structure in Mexico exists, in Argentina exists. It's these bands that play for, Catholic gatherings and you name it, So this next track is called La Cebua, and it's one of my dad's favorites. It's super powerful. La Cebua is a breed of cattle.
When do you think you heard this for the first time?
Well, most likely with my dad having some runs. I guarantee you that. So let's have a look to La Cebua, man, from Pedro Laza y sus Pelayeros. So yet again, strong solos, brass section, but you see that the rhythm is a bit more. There is the piece is higher, the beat is higher, and it's music that is, in my opinion, it is honestly been designed for two purposes: party and party again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So party fiesta.
Party fiesta, yeah, and yeah, a lot of but the funny thing is that all of these musicians were also used for the public gatherings, for anything that was happening in a town might have a band.
So for celebration.
Yes. So besides Pedro Laza, we have the Banda 20 de Julio de Repelón, very famous. Crescencio Camacho, from La Boquilla. La Sonora Cordobesa, so beautiful. So
Cordobesa, that's a location?
Yes.
Okay.
Well spotted. So Córdoba is the department where Montería is the capital.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, all of these things were going on. But what's funny is that towards the around that triangle that we were talking earlier, towards the east, there was a different movement by around the same time, 60s, 70s, and it was what we call Vallenato or also Cumbia in accordion. So there is it's very important for the connoisseurs. Vallenato is one thing, and Cumbia is another. But there was a period in which they both share the same instrument, which is the accordion. Lots of people know Andrés Landero. He's probably biggest figure in Cumbia these days. And his methods and way to play were really well received internationally. To this day, you can hear every single remix. And he's huge in Mexico, and his grandson is now playing and all of that. But to me and my dad, this guy, Alejandro Duran, is probably one of the best. He was a Vallenato king at the time. And yeah, this was happening around the same time. So
they're in different regions of Colombia?
No, not really. So there is the northern region, the northern department of Colombia is called La Guajira, and then there is another called El Cesar. At that time, there was a different breakup in departments, but let's say that area always had this style of music. However, there is this, how do you call it, sectism, where people prefer certain style from the savannah, and others prefer the style from the valley.
Yeah.
It sounds funny, but Sabanero player plays differently to the valley player. So for instance, the Sabanero, which is what we are going to listen to now, is more on the bass,
On the bass,
on the bass of the accordion. So it uses more, and it's a very distinctive thing. I'll be playing, let me see. This is a classic, and this also is a very common Christmas time song, for whatever reason. So there you go, man. This is called El Grito Vagabundo.
So that's just rhythm. So you got the rhythm, you got an accordion and a bass.
Yeah.
And the voice.
And the voice. Magic goes for the accordion. This is a genre that has evolved lots to this day, and it's very commercialized, like in Colombia. And this sectism that I was talking about early is very evident. So people will prefer this singer over this singer just because this singer now has lined up a better accordion player than the other.
Yeah.
And it's frantic, man. It's crazy. So yeah, let's head.
I got another question.
Yes, please bring it.
So we're looking at, this is like 60s, maybe 50s?
This record will be 70s,
Okay.
I'll say. Yeah, on top of my head.
But this is like Colombia 50 years ago.
Yes.
Are people moving around from city to city, or is it... I guess this is how styles kind of stay styles, right?
So the first thing is that there was a German migration to that area coming from Venezuela and to Colombia. Small group of these had a settlement in the valley area, and that's how accordion came.
From the Germans.
Yeah. So Hohner actually produces lots of accordions for Colombia, dual tone accordions, just for the purpose of Vallenato.
And these are the ones that are just the buttons, right? There's no
Yes.
keys? Yeah.
Yes, just the button, no keys.
Yeah.
That's their tone. So this one.
Yeah.
Right, you see? So this is the high notes, at the other end are the lows. Yeah. So this is beautiful, and I really love it. But the funny thing is, and this is a great question that you were asking, because yes, people was moving, but Colombia is always been and still is a very centralized country. Yeah. So for music to make it to Bogota, you have to have certain elegance to it. So that's why the first track that we play is music that commercialized cumbia per se, because it was put in a format that was very elegant. Even the musicians will, dress, like a proper big band. Like these big jazz, quick step big bands in the US. That was inspired from that figure, So to make it to Bogota and, these big cities, you have to go endure these processes, looking good. This though was more regional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to make it to Bogota is because there was also migration from people natural of the Caribe to the main cities, to the capital cities, Bogota or Medellin. So Bogota, as being the capital, is always important. But musically speaking, Medellin was even more important, because that's where the main, what we call disqueras or record labels were at. So this record, and some of these records are from Discos Fuentes, and you already, I guess, you have learned that on the trade of records. So it is really important. But obviously, most of the prestigious radio stations were also in Bogota and in Medellin. So that's how it happened. But most of this music was very regional, very niche at the time, where at a time that niche didn't even exist as a word, probably. So, and talking about those things, having this record is already well known, but I don't know which one should we go first. Should we go this one? Let's go through this one just to continue with the cumbia vibe first. And this is La Cumbia Moderna de Soledad. So this is late 70s, early 80s.
I know this one because of the Rod Stewart cover.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's cool to see it in.
Yes, the Rod. Yeah. So there was a lot of versions being covered in cumbia style. Most of them was recorded by Discos Machuca from Barranquilla.
Ah, yes.
So this guy had the vision of, recording low-profile artists, emerging artists that probably just did a couple of records, but the music was very nice and obscure, and I love the way it was produced. With this one is a Costeño label, which is part of Discos Codiscos. It's another
cool cool logo.
I just love it, man. It's beautiful, and most of the time they always carry something good. So, do you think I'm sexy? ¿Crees que soy sexy? Is the Rod Stewart version done by Cumbia Moderna de Soledad.
Where are these guys from?
Soledad is a town in Atlántico,
Okay.
which is another department.
On the other
Yeah.
side.
So we're back again to the northern area. So we have Cartagena, which is part of Bolívar, Barranquilla, which is the capital of the Atlántico department. But like I say, in 60, 70 years ago, the breakdown was different. Some departments emerged in between. So this is why I would prefer to call it, the diaspora of the Caribbean. So this was a lot of reinventing music and doing cumbia. I love this version because it's super respectful of the original, yet it's super respectful of cumbia.
Yeah.
This instrumentation, very important. It uses something called millo. This sound.
The instrument. I thought it was a guitar the first time I heard it.
It's done with a little piece of a particular bamboo. I'm not so certain. I'm not an expert, like I say. It's played horizontally instead of vertically. It's this short. I can actually show you what it looks like in a minute. So here we have two samples. Cumbia Moderna de Soledad was run by Pedro Ramayá Beltrán.
That's the instrument.
The instrument.
It's very thin looking bamboo.
But super powerful. Super powerful.
And you play it in your mouth by the looks of it?
Yeah. But sideways.
So it's like a flute.
Yeah, like a flute. Like a traverse flute. And this is the actual formation for this type of groups. This is another one. It's Cumbia Soledeña, not the same.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's the same.
Tambora, llamador, alegre. So that's the formation. Here, obviously, they have incorporated the bass to make it more, more disco.
At this time, what sort of impact is like American disco and the outside having on music?
In Colombia,
Yeah.
If you ask me. Well, the first thing is these things were happening in the Caribbean. So most music was coming through Barranquilla because Barranquilla, it is still today, well, not really. Buenaventura is one of the main ports, which is in the Pacific.
Yeah.
Barranquilla is the Atlantic, right? So all of that music was coming from there. So they have firsthand, the radios have all this music coming in. And that's why they were adapting super quick to what was going on in the North America, in Cuba, in the islands.
Yeah.
It allowed them to have that first grasp and make this kind of amazing, tracks. That brings us to this next thing, which is like we have a rhythm. So in this, going back to from where we start, when we have people that came to Colombia because of slavery and etc. So we have the African diaspora colombiana, the Colombian African diaspora, and there is a place in Colombia in Bolivar called San Basilio de Palenque. And it is to date, first, it was the first, how do you say this properly? It was the first city to free themselves from slavery from the Spaniards. They still have their own language, which is Palenque, and is the place of birth or rebirth of the African musical rhythms. I'll say rebirth because African music has always been, and it's super strong in our Colombian Caribbean. Yeah, but thanks to this town, it's still alive today. There is a lot of new projects coming from San Basilio de Palenque, but the precursors of the exposure of this music are these guys, and it's called Son Palenque. I'll show you in a minute. And they, thanks to these guys, we have what we call these days champeta. So a lot of music came from them.
So is this still a champeta track, or this is early?
No, it's early. It's early, but you can feel the essence of it. And this is called Aloito Pio. It's a classic. Super enjoyable, really nice to play. I think a lot of people connects to this because of its nature, you know, that Africa. Can you hear how loud we are playing right now? You can feel that vibration. It's super calling, calling, inviting,
instinctual.
Yeah, it's very nice. And from Son Palenque we have, there was a lot of different groups, you know, that slowly evolved into champeta, you know. But champeta it's a blend, right? Because this was happening for inland, but the champeta has also lots to do with other rhythms, you know, that come from later on the 70s, from the West Indies, from Cabo Verde, Africa themselves, you know, that came through France.
So it's like a new wave of
It was a new wave, and that's how it blended up. So I think the era for champeta will have begun by the 70s, strengthened in the 80s, because there was a lot of music that African music recorded in France that came through the Caribbean. In the Caribbean have a new, you know, like a first conversion into soukous.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
The soukous, it's a calypso we have.
Yeah.
And then from here we have these new rhythms coming from the African root, and they all convey in the same spot.
Yeah.
The hot pot, you know, which is Barranquilla and Cartagena and all this, which is this beautiful, beautiful music. But we probably won't go into champeta because we will never finish.
We can do that another day.
Another day. Talking about music coming from the northern, coming to Colombia from the north, or inspiration and journals, there was a lot of artists, and especially the next artist is my favorite artist. And anyone who knows me as a person, as a regular music lover, beyond being a selector, knows that my favorite artist is Joe Arroyo, which is it was someone who was really intrigued by all of these things that we are discussing today, you know. So he went and dig out records from the Caribbean, and he tried to bring his sound into his own records, you know. So he started with someone very important in Colombia called Cuchuco.
Yep.
He's pretty much like, to me, is like the godfather of music these days in Colombia, if you put it, because he started at a very young age, I think 15, 16 years old, in Discos Fuentes. He used to play for some of the bands that we play, so Pedro Laza, that one, and the Timbales.
He's Timbales, yeah.
Yeah, he did Timbales, and he did for Corraleros and all other bands. And then he created Fruco, and then he gave the opportunity to Joe Arroyo to be the singer that we all know. And then once Joe left, he started his own project. And this record, it was his first or second record of his own, with a kind of a compilation of what he has done for Fruco, and his first kind of solo records. Yeah, it's not his first.
Yeah.
There was a first.
He's like the early days.
Yeah.
Or something.
So this was after the separation.
Is he Colombian too?
Yes, he's Colombian too. And this song is called El Nativo, the native. Yeah. And I love it because the lyrics are about that, speaking out where he's from and what where he belongs and what he wants to express, or you know. But the sound of it is super psychedelic, in accordance to the 70s, to what was happening at the time in music.
It's a cool synth.
Yeah.
It's almost got a calypso feel to it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, a little bit of reggae.
Nativo soy. So I am native. I'm from Colombia. I have the color of a race that is, you know, strong, Latina. I'm from the valley. I'm from the jungle. I'm from the world. Pretty much is what he's saying. I love this track, and I wanted to play it because I remember seeing this record since I remember, and I remember playing this record the first time, and I was going track by track, and I used to play what we call mosaico. Mosaico is a track with 5,
like a medley,
which is a medley.
Yeah.
Correct. This medley is all his Fruco famous songs. So I used to go through this, but once I found this track, I really got, you know, knocked. I couldn't understand it. I was like, what is this? So lovely. And every time someone asks me for a silly track, this is the right track. Del Nativo, man. And then once you get to understand music and what you can do with music, once you comprehend, is when you start digging things of more rarity. So we have Lisandro Mesa. If you ask about Lisandro Mesa was a accordion player. However, he used to play a different accordion. He didn't play the dual tone. He used to play the key one.
Okay.
He's huge in Mexico. He used to play any accordion, but he was distinctive, you know. Reason why my dad never liked him. Gotta be honest, I do like him.
Yeah.
You know, he was huge in Peru, and when I remember maybe 11 or 10, I was able to access Peruvian television, and I used to see him there, and I was like, how, you know, he's from us. Yeah. So it's interesting.
Why is he on Peruvian television?
Exactly. I remember all of that, and man, then I understood that music is universal, and it is all about, you know, so about how you wanna play with it, you know. And this track, Chacalao, originally we were talking about this earlier. It's a Fela Kuti track, and I love the fact that every single version that has been recorded has a different way to spell it, or a different way to pronounce. It's like they do their little changes, either because they wanted to avoid copywriting, whatever the reason is. So while this one is playing, maybe I'll do a little bit of a medley here, or mix. So this is another massive Afro-Caribbean, or how do we call, Afro sound band from the 70s in Colombia called Uganda, Kenya.
This is like a supergroup, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And these days we are digging a lot of it. So let's see if I can have so let's make it happen. And that, man, is a little trip through music in the Colombian Caribbean. For sure, the purists will say that I'm crazy and that I have missed a lot of facts.
It's not about the purists.
But this is the fact that I learned through playing records with, essentially with my father, who mentored me in this beautiful, beautiful trade, man. These days a trade, but I'll say it a hobby. Hobby. Man, I have a little sample of most of the music that he has inherited to me in life, luckily. And I'm really, really thrilled to continue doing that or doing so. So yeah, man, I hope I see you in a dance floor nearby.
Maybe on Thursday.
Maybe on Thursday.
Well, I mean, it's going to be in the past by the time you see it.
Yeah, or whenever I just see this post.
In the future and the future and the future. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias, man. Enjoy.